In the previous video, we talked about the customer checklist. So this was where you go in at your first meeting and you collect as much information and ask as many questions as possible so that you really fully understand the scope of the project that's at hand. The next step really is to understand who the audience is, and by that I mean more understanding who you will be communicating with throughout the process. And frequently it will be multiple individuals from different departments or organizations within the company. Every department will have their own set of product specifications or requirements for the project. Whether engineering or marketing or procurement, designers help develop concepts and a visual vocabulary that everyone can understand and that satisfies as many of the requirements as possible. Not everyone has the ability to look at a two-dimensional drawing and understand the three-dimensional form or articulation or how ergonomic it is. So it should be understandable that we need to find different ways to communicate to different people. Many times a client will set out with strong preconceived notions of what their new product should be, how it should function, who their customer is, and perhaps even the aesthetics. It's important to take your client's ideas and preconceived notions into consideration. But as designers, we also have a responsibility to explore alternatives and expose our clients to ideas and opportunities that they had not imagined. Perhaps you could design a product that would appeal to a larger demographic range, or that would open up new market opportunities in peripheral industries. Ultimately, we need to understand the basic financial drivers that keeps our clients competitive and satisfying their investors or stockholders. Industrial designers play a pivotal role in their clients' success by being the nexus between innovation and positive financial outcomes. We determined that you will be communicating differently with different people throughout the design process. So let's take a look at the different styles of sketching that we can use to best convey our design intent. They are exploratory, emotive, and explanatory. The main objective with exploratory ideation is to produce a large volume of sketches. To accomplish this, you need to work rapidly and unencumbered. Most designers begin with thumbnail sketches, just a pen and paper, or a stylus and tablet. I would describe these as thinking sketches, ones that are freehand, uninhibited, and exploratory, working through the product's function, user requirements, use environment, and aesthetics. There are no bad ideas during the ideation phase. Have you ever wondered how professional designers sketch so well? Well, the short answer is obvious: practice. But in reality, you probably only see the good stuff. The rough initial thumbnails rarely would be presented to your client, but your design director or development team might appreciate them. These thumbnails also help organize your thoughts and expose the designs with the most potential moving forward. So it's really important that you learn to be fast and as accurate as possible, even though it may be considered a loose sketch. The distinctive industrial design sketch style was developed to allow for recording of ideas rapidly and precisely. It is the precision that will impact the level of realism needed to fully communicate your design intent and to sell your concepts to your client. So, the ideation phase is a bit more complex. First, you have to conceive and explore, and then you have to convince your client that your concepts are innovative and viable. As you explore, remember that many people will be evaluating your work. The more clearly you visually communicate your ideas, the more engaged the audience will be, and more importantly, it will convince your client that you are the creative authority. I want to mention something too, a little secret that we employ as designers, and that's the use of underlays. Whether working with traditional or digital media, we frequently rely on underlays. Underlays can be rough sketches, photographs, or background images that can add value and context. Not all designers are good illustrators, but underlays help to design efficiently and convincingly. You may not have studied life drawing, for example, but when you're designing a product that conforms to the human body, let's say your hand or torso or leg, you can utilize photographs as underlays for showing multiple perspective views of your product exploration and dimensional accuracy. Grab your phone and a piece of foam or board the size of your product and snap some shots. This will give you a way to communicate scale and context. If you're designing a handheld product, underlays are vital as they incrementally improve the accuracy of the sketches as you make design decisions and tweak your perspective views. It would not be uncommon to have multiple underlays for a presentation sketch. With each new sketch layer, the fidelity increases, and the design features become much more detailed and refined. Trust me, you'll never forget the first time a client looks at your work and smiles. You just made an emotional connection. For me, this is one of the reasons that I design. I like to make people smile and creating products that are alluring, energizing, and inspiring. Emotive sketches can be gestural, implying motion, speed, whimsy, attitude. You can include color and textures, elements that contribute to a strong and bold aesthetic. Consider quick ways to incorporate graphics, like labels, icons, logos, etc. This enhances the product vision and gets your client identifying with the product. Alternatively, a tighter, more precise sketch brings your product one step closer to believability. No need for time-consuming photorealism here. Remember, all the details are not worked out yet, and we need to achieve implied realism to give your concept a fighting chance. The last type of sketches that we can utilize are explanatory sketches. Explanatory sketches support your concept presentation by providing additional visual description of the product's function, operation, materials, or manufacturing methods. They can also reinforce how a product is held, is oriented, the scale of the product, and how it's assembled. What needs to be communicated will vary from product to product, but most consist of sketches that are informative, analytical, and diagrammatic. Examples of explanatory sketches are exploded views and sketches with action arrows indicating rotation and movement. Although these may be considered supplemental to exploratory and emotive sketches, explanatory sketches help solidify the design team's understanding of the concept and brings clarity to the product development process moving forward.